I'm walking down into the redwood forest. So I won't be able to look at you guys as much as I normally do because I kind of got to watch my footing. As you can see, there's a lot of little tree roots and stuff that can trip you. And it's a long trip down. So I really don't want to trip. But I'll tell you what, it feels really good to be over here in the redwood forest. I'm very close to Muir Woods. I'm actually hiking down to Muir Woods because, and actually to go to Muir Woods, nowadays you need to have an appointment and a parking reservation. It's like this whole ordeal just to go down there. But if you're smart, you can actually just walk down there. But by now, anybody who's seeing this video probably already saw my Mount Tam, kind of like the silent walking video that I did. And that's not very typical of what I normally do, but obviously I'm always trying new things, and that's part of the creative process and just making videos, in my opinion. And I just wanted to talk a little bit in this one because I don't want to let you guys down.
What's his name?
Kopi.
Hi, Kopi. So cute.
Yeah,
Hi,
he's
Kopi.
happy.
Hi. I know. Nice to meet you too. Good job, baby. I know.
This is the beginning of the walk when he's got lots of energy.
He's happy. Oh yeah. I'm so happy. Nice to meet you, buddy. Go have fun with Daddy.
You can see we're at a little crossroads here, so we're gonna go the way that trail says. There's another trail over here, but it's not marked, and I don't want to get lost, so we're going this way. But you can see we're already down into the redwood forest here, and these trees are just magnificent. I always love coming over here. You can smell them a mile away, and once you're over here, the air is just so fresh and crisp, and it's just beautiful being in the redwood forest. You see, you really got to be careful coming down some of these trails because you have all kinds of tree roots and slippery rocks and stuff you can trip on, and that could send you flying down there, and you really don't want that. Look at all those roots up there. Look at this. You got roots, and then you got the slippery slope, so you have to be careful. And I know it's probably kind of stupid to film this while I'm doing this, but the things you do for YouTube, man. And one thing you guys probably saw in the beginning of the video is they have the warning sign for mountain lions and what to do in case you ever encounter one. And I hope that we never actually do, because I definitely don't want to fight one of them things off. But from what I've heard from other people that live here in California, it's extremely rare to even see one. And from what I understand, they basically never attack humans because obviously we're not their ideal prey. And supposedly they're more afraid of us than we are of them. So I try not to worry about it that much. It would be cool to see Bigfoot out here though. But seriously guys, if you've never been to the redwood forest before, to me, this has to be like a must on your bucket list one day before you die, because these trees are among the oldest trees in the whole world, and they even are able to survive a lot of the wildfires here they have in California, believe it or not. A tree that doesn't burn down from a fire. No kidding. And they're just magnificent to look at. If you've never seen one before in person, you know, a picture or a video won't really do it justice. You just got to come and see them for yourself. Now, I'm not sure if by the time anyone watching this video sees this, if I have already released my Northern California versus Southern California video, but this is definitely a huge win in my book for Northern California. And just one of my favorite things about being up this way is you have these beautiful forests to walk through. I mean, you guys can see how green and how beautiful everything is here. That's just one thing I don't like about Southern California. Everything appears like to be way more dead. It's more desert-like conditions than up here. And I just find this area to be just more visually beautiful, but also just more pleasant to be in weather-wise, because it's only like 61 degrees outside right now, but we got sun shining and we're on the trail, and I'm just wearing t-shirt and shorts and I'm hot. So if you were doing this same hike in Southern California, it would just be too hot. It would feel like being in Miami, if you ask me, because it does get pretty hot there, especially on the mountains. So I'd totally prefer being up this way for these outdoor adventures, because it's just more like having natural air conditioning and a more pleasant environment to be doing all of this in, versus, you know, just constantly being hot and sweating. So that's my opinion, but had to share that. Oh yeah, and you guys can see that we're going down right now, and obviously going down is the easy part. And this is the beginning of our hike, so we're starting off going down, and then we're gonna have to finish off going back up. So needless to say, this is going to be a pretty good workout today. Check it out. We got a little bridge up in front of us here, some fallen down trees. Now we're really getting deep down into the forest here, and it almost reminds me of the desert, because let me just stop for a second. You hear that? Exactly. It's extremely quiet. Very quiet. This one's for you, Mom. I'm crossing the bridge. Oh my God, I might fall off the edge. So not only is it super quiet down here as you get deeper and deeper down the mountain and further into the forest, but it also gets darker, which, yeah, okay, you might say, Michael, that's common sense. There's trees everywhere. It's going to get darker, but I'm kind of surprised on how dark it's getting, even though we're not all the way at the bottom yet, because it's still like, I don't know, 4:30 in the afternoon or something. It gets dark right now at 7 o'clock here, so we still got a ways to go before it gets dark. But just something to point out. You probably want to start this hike a little earlier in the day, and we were definitely intending on doing that, but we got delayed, and we're doing it a little bit later. Also, one important thing I have to say in this video is I know how special these type of videos are for certain people that watch my channel that just physically aren't able to do stuff like this anymore. So I'm very happy to be able to share this type of thing with anybody that just doesn't have the physical means to actually hike up and down a mountain anymore. And this is about as close as you can get now, and it's cool that I can share that. Here we go, guys. Check out how tall this one is. And one thing I learned about the Redwoods the first time I came to Muir Woods here is, you see how they split off like that? They kind of like grow together. Like it's kind of two separate trees, but at the bottom it's one big tree. I know it's kind of hard to see in the video just how tall they are. I'll do a zoom in there. But even with the zoom, you still can't even see the top. I guess California's not totally out of water yet. Still got a little bit of a creek running over there. Now look, here's a good example of what I was talking about just a little bit ago. You can see these trees right here in front of me were actually on fire at one point. Probably not too long ago. You can still see the char on the sides of them, but they managed to survive the fire, which to me is just incredible and speaks volumes about why these trees are still here millenniums later. Check it out. That one's got like a little hole through the middle of it, just like you see those huge ones that you can actually drive the car through. That's cool. The park system is still doing some stuff to maintain the trail. You see they sawed this tree in half so you can continue on through the trail. Thank you, park rangers. Here's a bunch more that are all burned on the outside. But make no mistake, these trees are alive. Even though they were bruised by the fire, they definitely didn't die. You can see at the top, their leaves are still green. They're surviving, no problem. It's pretty awesome. And now we finally made it down the valley. We're all the way at the bottom of the mountain here, since we got the water there. So, it took us about, what did it take, Lizzie, 45 minutes for us to walk to the bottom?
40 minutes.
40 minutes from the top to the bottom. And this is just one of my favorite places to be on Earth. I love it here. Wow, check out this part of the trail. Kind of weird looking, huh? Another thing I should mention, like walking on the ground here feels like almost like walking on carpet. The soil is like so soft. It feels like more like carpet than actual earth. It's kind of hard to describe unless you're actually here. If you hear like the thumping like that, kind of get an idea what I mean. One thing I'm surprised I haven't seen down here yet is any deer, because I've been seeing deer all over the neighborhood and just different areas, you know, driving around. But being down here in the forest, not a single deer. How's it going, guys?
Hi.
Good, yourself?
Pretty good?
Right on.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Thanks, you too.
Hi there.
Another cool thing about being down here on the forest floor is it's very protective, especially of the outside elements. Like towards the top of the mountain where I parked, it was starting to pick up the wind and it was getting a little chilly over there. And, you know, you got on and off clouds. But you would think that being down here on the forest floor, down, you know, it's a lot shadier, that it'd be very cold. But it's actually just perfect if you ask me, because on the one hand you don't have a lot of sun, but you also don't have a lot of wind, and I feel like all the plants and the trees absorb a lot of the harshness of being outside, and then you just get this kind of tranquil environment, which you can even hear with how silent it is when I'm not talking, and that attributes to the perfect climate down here. Oh, look at that. We made it to Muir Woods.
All right.
Now, as much as I enjoy hiking through the redwoods like this, I also equally enjoy climbing to the mountaintops here, because it's very challenging physically Wow, look at that. Had to interrupt myself. You can see one of these giant redwoods that fell down. Look how massive that tree is, guys. Like if I go stand over there, I'll only be, the top of my head would probably be right there. It's huge. Whew. That's one thing I love about California, you know? You can come down here into the redwoods one day, and then tomorrow I'm gonna go hike to one of the nearby mountaintops, and up there you have tremendous views and beauty 360 of the entire Bay Area. And it's just incredible to have all of this right outside your back door. And yes, we have some beautiful things in Miami. We have the beach, we have the Everglades, we have the Keys, but this is just a different thing to appreciate. And it's nice to change it up because, you know, that stuff is beautiful, but if that's all you ever know and that's all you ever do in life, well, if you ask me, that's kind of dull because then you're missing out on things like this. Okay, so I guess we have to go right instead of left. That trail's closed. The only thing you definitely cannot get from watching this virtual hike with me is you cannot get the smell. And that's unfortunately one of the best things about being over here. Wow, look how beautiful. They're everywhere. Completely surrounded by redwood trees. Look how green all of this is. So pretty. This is the same one of those huge crows I saw at the top of Mount Tam. These things are aggressive, man. They definitely won't hesitate to try and steal your lunch, especially if they got buddies. I am a little bit sad to report that my time in California is almost done. I'm only going to be here for a few more days, and then I'll be off to Arizona for about a week to visit some of my friends over there, and then we'll be heading back to Florida after that. So definitely trying to take in these last few days as much as possible and enjoy all these great things that they have here that we don't have in Florida. Uh-oh. I'm more worried about that than the mountain lions. I haven't been stung by a bee since I was in first grade. Check out the moss. Got moss everywhere. All over the hillsides here. Bunch of it. Quick little story for you is 4 years ago was the first time I ever came to Muir Woods, and it was actually the last time I was here. So this is only my second time here. And that was back in 2017. And being here is actually what made me fall in love with Northern California. It made me just appreciate this area so much for its natural beauty. You know, forget about San Francisco and all their stupid rules and everything they got going over there. Even though that's nearby, who cares? You know, none of that matters when you're out here. And also, FYI, anybody that wants to come and visit a place like this, but they don't want to be subject, you know, to all these crazy rules they have over there, not everywhere's like that. You know, I'm staying in Marin County. It's a little more eased up over there, and Santa Cruz County seems to be even the most relaxed on a lot of these restrictions and stuff they've been putting into place lately. So there are places you can go outside of San Francisco that are just not as insane. Another thing that's been nice about being back in the forest like this is I actually have never been back to Illinois since I moved to Miami in 2008 for fall. And it's actually fall right now. It's not summer anymore. And in this botanical garden we visited yesterday, you could start seeing some of the leaves changing colors and, you know, some of the beauty that comes along with fall. And I've always actually loved fall. I don't like winter, but fall is beautiful because you have that change of color going on, and I'm starting to see some of that here. You also get that crisp fall air, and you can smell a lot of like the leaves falling off the trees. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you live up north or you experience autumn every year, then you know how nice and special fall can be. And this is literally the first time I've gotten to experience fall in the last 13 years. So that's pretty nice. I'm going to give you a little bit of a moment of silence so you can hear the silence as I'm walking through the trail. Probably just hear my footsteps and nature. Check this out. I've only seen this once on one of my other hikes, and I have no idea what that is on this tree. If anybody knows, put a comment below. I'm really curious. So that was my short little tour of the Redwoods for you, most notably Muir Woods. You definitely have to come and check this place out one day in your lifetime if you're able to. If not, I hope I could have given you a good experience through this video of what it's like here. And if you enjoyed this one, then if you're feeling brave, check out my silent one I did on Mount Tam right over here, and let me know what you think of that one too, and I'll see you over there.